shall we? As we got Ross Merriam on your left, Veronica Page on your right. It's Elves versus Counters Company. And what that means too, I see you writing over there, 2 more archetypes.
This is out of control, the number of archetypes we see week after week.
Ross is not happy with this hand. He's going to send it back here.
I mean, this is late in day one. Both of these players are 6-1,
yeah.
Very good records. What's going on here? You can just play whatever you want.
You can literally do whatever you want, and you can have a blast doing it. Ross typically playing Dredge. In Modern, he's moved away from that deck, and he's moved towards Elves, a deck he used to have a lot of success with in Legacy. So we learned a little bit more about Ross, because we haven't seen him on camera for a little while. The 28-year-old from Middletown, Connecticut, with 18 top 8s, 4 open wins, 2 invitational top 8s as well underneath the resume. Huge Jeopardy fan, if you didn't know. He was on the show last year in July. He eats eggs for breakfast nearly every morning, and for whatever reason, he is a very large Utah Jazz fan and always manages to text me about them when they are playing, about things I don't care about.
Sure.
That is Ross Merriam.
What are friends for?
That's right. Did you just see that bucket by Gordon Hayward? No, because why would I be watching a Jazz game, Ross?
Man, I feel inspired to do a very similar thing to you with the football season.
It is Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm just living my life. Yeah. I'm not watching a Jazz game.
But you should be.
Yeah, perhaps I should be. We're underway here in game number 1. It is a Noble Hierarch off of a Temple Garden, Page down to 18.
And I think this matchup probably favors the Counters Company deck because they're just a little more redundant. They've got the 4 Devoted Druids with more copies of the Vizier of Remedies and more cards that'll just be instant winners in their hand that they won't have to go and search for.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to go about doing the infinite combo here, and I don't know. It's weird because it is a flat race, and the Elves deck, when it is not being disrupted, is pretty darn good too.
Oh yeah,
at just doing its thing. You see Atlanta War Elves off of a Temple Garden there for Ross Merriam. But both these decks at the end of the day are just kind of collected company decks with Quarter Callings, and they're both trying to assemble a combo. They can play a normal game, and if they do just play a normal game where the combo is not really involved, I think Ross is much better at that because of Azuri and because of Archmage, as here's a Scavenging Ooze. But the combo portion, I think it does lean towards Page.
Well, and it looked like Veronica was giving her hand a long look there, wondering what to play that turn. She sees, turn 1 green white land elf out of her opponent, and the most experienced players will always say, all right, it's an elf deck. Like, that's the only thing it really could be.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, I think, the elves deck is not very common. It's not ubiquitous in Modern right now. So I think a lot of people would look at that and give it a little head shake, Yeah,
what's going on here?
What am I playing against?
This is a forest. Ross has got a couple of 1-mana spells in Heritage Druid and Nettle Sentinel. Let's add 3 green. An Elvish Visionary.
Ooh.
Trust me when I say Ross is very used to doing things like this, as he's going to play another 1-mana elf there in Atlanta War Elves and simply pass the turn back. Last card in hand for Merriam is a Court of Calling. We go over to Veronica Page. It's a Vizier of Remedies. No Devoted Druid just yet, though, for Veronica.
I believe she does have a collected company.
Yeah, I think she also has Mana Source number 4. There is Gavany Township. And there's Duskwatch Recruiter. Now here's Vizier of Remedies. So just going to get onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
And pass a turn back, so no great attacks as we head over to Ross Merriam. Ross will draw a card. We know he's got a Court of Calling.
And I think Veronica should have been interested in offering a trade of her Scavenging Ooze for 2 of her opponent's creatures.
Yeah, I could have gotten some damage there.
Yeah, I think Ross would just take the damage, but if he doesn't, you're okay eating a Nettle Sentinel plus another mana source.
Well, Elves is such a critical mass deck.
Yes.
It's a deck that the pieces work okay by themselves, but I mean, if you take a look at Heritage Druid, that just kind of spells it out for you. This is a critical mass deck. All the Elves work very well in conjunction, as there's a Razorverge Thicket and a passing of the turn. Duskwatch Recruiter is going to transform, as Merriam did not play a spell. And Page is going to activate this. So take a look at the top couple of cards. The reveal is an Eternal Witness. So Eternal Witness is going to go to the hand, and now Duskwatch Recruiter is going to transform into Callan Horde Howler, which is super easy to say. Now, it doesn't look like there's a Collected Company in hand, actually.
Yeah, I think we were mistaken on that. Yeah. It wouldn't make sense with the way that Veronica's played this game.
Correct.
For the Collected Company to still be there.
There's a Horizon Canopy. It looks like a Birds of Paradise now as well. So there's the Canopy. I'm just going to pass the turn back with the ability to sacrifice the Canopy or activate Scavenging Ooze. And now Ross is going to go Accordant. That's going to untap the Nettle Sentinel. And I think we're going to see Azuri.
Yeah,
yes, we are.
I think Veronica might be in a pinch of trouble here with these overruns coming.
Yep, this is where things do get difficult for sure. Because again, if uncontested, no removal, no counterspells, no nothing, the Elves deck can just do this. And it is very good at doing this, which is searching up Azuri, activating Azuri, and killing the opponent. Now remember, it's important to note Azuri says regenerate another target elf, so the Renegade leader cannot regenerate itself, but the elf creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample on a turn. Well, that does work on Azuri.
Very intuitive.
Yes. Super intuitive. Well, I think it's better that Azuri can't regenerate itself, truthfully.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But just having both those abilities on the same card,
yeah,
they both interact with elves, and one can affect itself and the other cannot.
Yeah, a little strange. Merriam's going to try to figure out the best way to attack now this turn. Because he doesn't have enough mana. You know, this deck doesn't have anything like a Gaia's Cradle or anything. And he doesn't have enough mana with regards to lands to just say, all right, attack with everybody, overrun, kill you. So he's just, ooh, he's waiting.
That's interesting. I expected at least 2 or 3 creatures to get in there.
Me too. I guess the nice thing here for Ross is that he doesn't have to fear an infinite mana kill right now because Devoted Druid will have Summoning Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have a ton to fear. And he must have drawn a Collected Company or a Court of Calling.
Or a Chord, sure.
Yeah, that was the only thing that would make sense to me. And yeah, it looks like it's a Chord, which, all right, now it's time to go get Archdruid.
Yeah. Now he's going to produce enough mana to just really go bonkers next turn.
Yeah. So it's Archdruid, for those who are unfamiliar. We take a look at this card. It's one of many Elvish lords that have been printed over the course of Magic's history. But this one generates a whole boatload of mana.
Oh, yeah. We're looking at double overruns.
Yeah, pretty easily here, truth be told. Because Archdruid is going to tap for 7, and you got 3 mana already. So these creatures are going to get, what, +6/+6 in trample?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty difficult to overcome. That's, at the very least, that's what's going to happen.
Well, and they're getting buffed from the Archdruid as well.
Yeah.
So +7/+7 in trample.
And Ross can kind of think about the best way to make this attack, but I don't think he has much of a decision to make with regards to what to send other than just send them all.
Yeah, the time is right.
Because we can't forget, they all get trample as well. It looks like he's going to think about some things a little bit here. I'm curious to what he might be thinking about. I guess it involves if I should send Azuri or not. He's going to go to his attack step and send these 5 elves in. So Azuri's going to hang back. Doesn't want to risk that elf.
Yeah, which probably does not matter either way.
I don't think so.
This is a boatload of damage coming here.
Yeah. Now Veronica Page can block as she elects to. Now keep in mind, all these elves right now have an additional power and toughness given Elvish Archdruid. So Heritage Druid, Elvish Visionary, Llanowar Elves, and an Elvish Mystic. Those are all 2/2s. Nettle Sentinel is a 3/3, and there's a potential for so much more. And that is going to get the job done. So Ross Merriam's going to win game number 1 here over Veronica Page. Elves up a game here over Counters Company, as Veronica could not find Collected Company, Court of Calling, or Devoted Druid to be able to do her thing this particular game. So these players are going to go to the sideboard, and we will start with Veronica Page, who's got 3 Voice of Resurgence, 2 Path to Exile, and here come the one-ofs. Some of them are going to be pretty good in this matchup, too. Aven Mind Center, Orzhov Pontiff, Kusali Pride Mage, Selfless Spirit, Yixit Jailer, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Abrupt Decay, Kataki's War's Wage, Linvala, Keeper of Silence, that's your 4-mana Linvala, and a Maelstrom Pulse. A lot to like here, actually.
Yeah, there is a lot of like. The Path to Exile is going to be great at picking off those key lords out of the Elf deck. I can see the Aven Mind Sensor coming in, shutting down the search spells. Orzhov Pontiff, great little one-time use, -1/-1 on the opponent's side. The Abrupt Decay has utility here. The Linvala is going to be great in this matchup. And I could see even bringing in the Maelstrom Pulse if Veronica has enough cards that she wants to take out of her main deck.
On the other side of things here for Ross Merriam, he's got 3 Path to Exile, 2 Chameleon Colossus, a Rest in Peace of Stony Silence, a Fracturing Gust, a Burrington Forge Tender, a Selfless Spirit, a Kataki War's Wage, Aven Mind Center, Eidolon of Rhetoric, Reclamation Sage, and a Scavenging Ooze.
All right, so the 3 Path to Exiles, for the same reason that Veronica wants to bring them in, they're just the most efficient way to break up the opposing combo. A lot of these other cards are not super exciting to me. I could see the Aven Mind Sensor coming in. It's not as great, I don't think, coming out of Ross's deck as it is Veronica's. But it still has the utility, and potentially the Scavenging Ooze can come in. If she tries to go the infinite life route, the Scavenging Ooze can break that up.
Very true. Very true. So, those are the options there for both players. Both players have some nice little interesting one-ofs. One thing to note here too, Craig, is I've kind of noticed a little bit in the sideboards here this weekend between Daryl Errors, we've seen it from some other Scapeshift players, now Ross. Chameleon Colossus, little uptick.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good against Death Shadow.
Well, I think that's just it. It's taken a little bit. The format, I keep saying this, it just keeps constantly evolving. And when someone figures something out, it slowly gets adopted throughout the community. So we see Chameleon Colossus start to show up a little bit, and then other people are like, oh, like the light bulb goes off. Oh, yeah, like, yeah, this is great in that matchup. You know?
Can't bolt it.
Can't bolt it. It blocks everything, and it can't be blocked. So when I pump it, like, it's almost always just a one-shot to kill them because they dealt themselves so much damage.
Yeah, if things are going right for a Death Shadow player, they're at 8 or less, right? So this can just be an immediate way to win. And as you mentioned, if I do attack and pump it, I don't have to worry about, like, I don't know, Vapor Snag or, you know, Dismember's not going to kill it. Nothing's going to kill it, so it's just you're good to go. And I think what's going to happen a lot with the decks that can play the card is they're going to have another creature to sacrifice to Liliana.
Yep.
You know, a pretty high percentage of the time. Scapeshift, no, but a deck like Ross's, sure. And other green decks like what Veronica is playing, and that she could be playing the card as well. So just something to keep in mind for those who are looking to beat Grixis Death Shadow and other black-based strategies. As these two players go right here for game number 2. Let's talk about Puggernaut real quick. Vroom. We got playmat sleeves and player bundles of our playful pup. Go.starcitygames.com/creature collections where you can get those items, but you can also check out the rest of the creature collection as well, as we got a pretty storied history with some of the fun things we've done around Star City Games, and those things are all available, just like Puggernaut, in playmats, sleeves, and player bundles. Go.starcitygames.com/creature collection for more information as we get ready here for game number 2. Both players going to take a look at their opening hands. It's a Court of Calling, Collected Company Mirror.
Yeah, these cards are so powerful.
Super good green cards.
They're just such good cards. You know, you put in some ramp spells, you put in those spells, and then almost doesn't matter what you include around them.
For Ross, he's going to sacrifice a Windswept Teeth. Maybe we'll see the Temple Garden once again. Having a white source of mana is probably ideal because of the Path to Exiles that he sideboarded in. You saw him go by all 3 of them there, and there is the Temple Garden, so it'll fall down to 17. Paige will get the same land off of her Windswept Teeth. And you see the life totals here a little bit different, 17 to 19 right now in favor of Veronica.
Yeah, not having the first turn ramp spell is definitely big.
We'll go back over to Paige.
You know, being the first person that resolves the Collected Company, and then the first person that has access to a bigger Court of Calling, those are both very important features in this matchup.
That's a Devoted Druid.
Ooh.
Demands an answer.
We've seen this before.
We have. You and I have covered a lot of Modern so far this year. Devoted Druid immediately puts the opponent to the test. Now, a lot of people will bolt it or push it or do something to kill it. Ross does not really have that luxury.
Yeah, he doesn't have the most robust removal package in his elf deck.
He has 3 Path to Exile after sideboard. And Path isn't even the way you want to go about killing it because that ramps him into Collector Company.
Yeah.
So Ross has got to kind of play this ignore it game. And if you want to talk about ignoring it, yeah, Eternal Witness. Doesn't really do anything on this battlefield. So let's go back over to Veronica Page. Is there a Vizier? Doesn't look like there is just yet.
Yeah, it does not seem like it. It looks like she has a Walking Ballista, which would be great on this board.
I'd be fine with a Walking Ballista right now.
Yeah, just play it for 2. I would take out the elf and just ignore the Witness.
Yeah. Seems like a pretty good use of the turn end mana. See if that's the route she elects to take. Here's a Scavenging Ooze. Wow, just going to pass the turn back. A little surprised by that. Let's go back over to Ross. And that's a Windswept Heath.
Yeah, that's the freebie off of the Eternal Witness.
Mm-hmm. Here's an attack for 2. All right, that'll work. Now Ross is going to sacrifice his Windswept Heath. He'll fall a little bit lower here to 15. Now Veronica's going to sacrifice her Verdant Catacombs. And there is an Overgrown Tomb.
Yeah, just trying to save a little time. We'll both shuffle at the same time here.
Mm-hmm. So Ross got Collected Company at the ready. Quarter Calling-ish as well.
It's not a bad spell.
Yep. Now we're going to head back over to Veronica Page.
Saw a little bit of play in Standard.
Yeah, just a touch. There's a Horizon Canopy.
And again, if she wants to go with a bigger Walking Ballista, she could have.
Yeah, I'm curious as to why she isn't deploying the Walking Ballista on this battlefield, especially with an Eternal Witness in hand. It isn't the situation where it's just kind of a one-shot.
Sure.
Because you get the opportunity to get it back. So I guess I'm just a little surprised at not seeing this card be played at this stage of the game. In the meantime, we're also going to play Eclectic Company. We'll see what he wants to search up.
Yeah, it's very possible Veronica's just thinking, I want to protect this spell as much as possible. You know, if I complete my combo with my Devoted Druid, I'm just going to win the game. You know, I'm going to create infinite mana and win the game right there.
Path to Exile is going to take care of Azuri. And she's going to do that while Ross is tapped out. So this is still at Veronica Page's end step. So Ross is going to get a basic forest. He will get to untap. And he'll have quite a bit of mana to work with here.
A classic beta forests out of Ross.
Yeah, you know, kind of coming around to those lands. Kind of coming around to those lands.
Vintage.
Yes. Ross will draw Devoted Druid. So that's a handful. It's a handful of spells, not a handful of lands.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm. Witness is going to start by attacking. Now here's Devoted Druid.
Okay, his own Devoted Druid.
Yep.
Who's more scared of this?
Well, he's going to pass the turn back now. Scavenging Ooze is going to eat Collected Company. And now Paige will untap. She'll draw. Perhaps we'll see the Eternal Witness be played here. Get back Path to Exile.
That would be fine. I'm still a fan of getting on board with this Walking Ballista.
Yeah, you and me both. Comes back. The Path Exile does come back now from the Witness. And now here's Devoted Druid. White mana available via the Noble Hierarch. Now we go back over to Ross. Ross, I think we're going to see another Collected Company. Yep.
Jeez, this is a lot of action.
Azuri is in there once again. Looks like maybe an Archdruid is 2. And yeah, we've got an Elvish Archdruid and a Devoted Druid. So Ross is going to be able to go infinite here because he's got that second Devoted Druid, which is really nice for him. He's got the Vizier in hand. And Paige looks like she's going to fire off the Path to Exile. And now life gets very, very easy for Merriam because he's not even going to search up a land. He's going to very quickly untap. He knows that he's got Veronica Page beat. The White Vizier is going to allow for the Devoted Druid to make infinite green mana. Next is Azuri. That's infinite overruns.
Yeah.
And you're going to take a whole bunch of damage. So Ross Merriam's going to win this match here over Veronica Page. 2-0. Elves going to destroy Counter's Company. And Ross Merriam going to move on to 7-1.